So you hear the name Google Antigravity, and you probably think of one very specific, very fun thing. But what if I told you that name actually tells two completely different stories about technology? We're talking about a beloved internet toy on one hand and an incredibly powerful professional tool on the other. It's a wild story that really shows us just how far the web has come.
All right, so let's get right into it. If you go and search for Google Antigravity right now, you'll probably find this classic, really fun experiment where the whole Google homepage just, well, it collapses under its own weight. But here's the twist. That very same name, it now belongs to a super advanced AI platform that Google is building. So what's the deal? Is it a silly physics demo, or is it a serious intelligent machine?
Well, the crazy part is it's both. That one name literally bridges two completely different eras of the internet. Back in 2009, it was all about making the web feel heavy, subjecting it to the laws of physics just for amusement. But fast forward to 2025, and the name is about the exact opposite. It's about making code feel light, freeing developers from the, let's call it, gravitational pull of all that tedious, routine work.
To really get this, we got to go back in time. Let's start at the beginning, way back in 2009. You have to remember, the web back then was kind of static, right? Mostly just a collection of fixed pages. But something was bubbling just under the surface. A new wave of tech that was about to make everything feel a whole lot more real.
And this whole story really kicks off with one guy, a developer named Ricardo Cabello, though everyone online knew him as Mr. Doob. Now, his background wasn't in making your standard, boring websites. No, he came from this really cool subculture called the demo scene, which was all about creating these insane audiovisual art projects that pushed computer hardware to its absolute, and I mean absolute, breaking point.
And that right there, that demo scene background, that's why Google Gravity was so much more than just a silly prank. It was a technical showcase. It was a flex. It was Mr. Doob showing the world what the new, much faster web browsers like Google Chrome could finally do. It was basically art, just disguised as a search engine.
So how did he do it? Well, it was pretty genius, actually. He used a physics engine, something you'd normally find in a video game, called Box2D, and he got it running in JavaScript. First, it basically said, okay, this browser window, that's now a physical world with gravity. Then it turned every single thing on the page, the Google logo, the search bar, all the buttons, into a real object with mass and weight. And then 60 times every second, it was calculating where everything should fall, checking if things were crashing into each other, and redrawing the screen. That constant calculation is what made the abstract web suddenly feel so solid and chaotic.
Here's a funny little detail, though. The name Antigravity didn't actually come from that first version. It came from a follow-up he made in 2012 called Google Space. That one simulated zero-G, so everything just floated around aimlessly until you grabbed it and threw it. But people started calling it Google Antigravity, and that name just stuck. It has this ring to it, right? This idea of actively defying a force. And you're going to want to remember that theme, because it becomes super important later on.
Okay, so let's hit the fast forward button. We're jumping all the way to 2025, where Google officially reclaims that old name, Antigravity. But this time, it's for something with a totally different mission, not to defy physical gravity, but to defy the crushing weight of writing code.
Yep, 16 years after that first playful experiment, the whole game has changed. The cutting edge of tech isn't about running cool physics stuff on your local computer anymore. It's all about massive server-side intelligence. And so Antigravity gets reborn as what they're calling an agentic development platform.
And this is the key thing you have to understand. The massive leap from an AI assistant to an AI agent. Think about it like this. An assistant, like GitHub Copilot, which a lot of us use, is like someone looking over your shoulder, suggesting the next word or line of code. It's helpful, for sure. But an agent is completely different. You don't give it line-by-line instructions. You give it a high-level mission, like, hey, add a login with Google feature to this app, and then it just goes and does it. It plans the steps, writes the code in all the different files, and even runs tests to make sure it works, all on its own.
This really nails the difference, right? An assistant thinks about where your cursor is right now. Antigravity, this agentic platform, thinks about the entire project. It gets the whole code base, it can run commands in the terminal, and it can check its own work. It totally changes the job of a developer. You're not a typist anymore. You're more like a director.
And the tech that makes this happen is just incredible. Under the hood, you've got this super-powered AI model that has a deep think mode, so it can actually plan out its attack before it writes a single line of code.
You manage all this from what looks like a mission control center for your AI agents. And maybe the craziest part? It can spin up a browser to literally look at the application it's building. Just to visually check, hey, did that button I just made actually turn out blue like I planned? It's wild. So, okay, we've got this playful physics toy from the past and this deadly serious AI tool from the future, and they share the exact same name. So how do they really compare? Well, it all boils down to one question. What kind of load or weight are they actually designed to lift? And this is where it gets really interesting. The original Google Gravity, it actually increased the load on you. It added all this visual chaos, forcing you to work harder just to do a simple search, all for the sake of fun. The new Antigravity is the polar opposite. Its entire purpose is to reduce the cognitive load on developers, to handle all that complex, tedious work so they can focus on the big picture, on the actual creative design.
And if you look at the tech specs, you see just how opposite they are. The 2009 version, that was a physics engine running on your computer's CPU, and it was completely free. The 2025 version, that's a gigantic AI model running on Google's powerful servers, and man, does it burn through expensive processing tokens. Totally different worlds. People who've gotten to try this new platform early, they are just blown away by the speed. They're even coining a new term for it, vibe coding. The idea is you just describe the vibe and the functionality you're going for, and the AI just takes care of the implementation. It's like you're coding at the speed of thought. But, and this is a big but, all that instant magic comes at a price. A very, very high price. These AI agents are what you'd call token hungry. They just devour processing power. We're hearing from lots of early users who got generous free credits to try it out, and they burned through the entire amount in like 20 minutes. So yeah, the dream of an AI that codes for you is here, but our wallets might not be ready for it. So what are we supposed to make of all this? What is this story, this one name being passed down from a fun little demo to this incredibly powerful AI? What does it tell us about where all of this tech is actually going?
When you really think about it, the journey of the name Antigravity is kind of the journey of the web itself. We started out being amazed that our computers could render things, make pixels fall down a screen in a realistic way. Now we're amazed that they can reason, that they can take a simple idea and build a whole application. Our tools are evolving from being just a canvas to display things to being a partner in how we think.
And this timeline just lays it all out perfectly. It starts as this quirky, cool thing made by one person. Then it breaks, but fans keep it alive. Its core idea even pops up in a big Hollywood movie promotion. And then, finally, Google itself brings the name back for its biggest, most futuristic AI project. The story comes completely full circle, from simulating the laws of physics to simulating the process of human thought.
And that leaves us with one final and maybe slightly scary question for the future. These new tools, like Antigravity, are designed to automate all the tedious, entry-level stuff, the small bug fixes, the repetitive code, which, let's be honest, is how most new developers learn the ropes. So if AI agents are doing all that grunt work now, how does someone become a senior engineer? How do you get that deep experience if you never spend years in the trenches wrestling with syntax? Honestly, that's a huge question, and I don't think anyone has the answer yet. It's something we're all going to have to figure out together.